What's up, guys? Lance, the Obscure Movie Guy, coming to you once again. SRL Racing League Formula One 2022, currently on the PS4 platform. And today we're doing a in-season test. So if anybody watched the Season 8 season opener last week at Bahrain, you'll have noticed that there were some technical difficulties that we had with the lobby, and particularly with Sandro Dulius, who is the league owner, and we knew he had a bad race last week. It was very uncharacteristic of him. Had a good qualifying effort, but unfortunately fell back through the field quite quickly and had some lag issues, and we do believe that it was because the crossplay was enabled on the lobby, which was an interesting fact because even though crossplay was enabled, we didn't have anybody other than PlayStation players in the race. So there was a lot of debate after the race whether or not that crossplay was causing lag issues within the lobby, which lag can be caused by a lot of different things, but Sandro and a couple of the other guys seemed pretty convinced that crossplay, which has not been perfected by EA Sports for F1 22, was possibly the issue. So we're going to be doing some in-season testing today, not just on the crossplay being disabled and enabled, but also for the drivers themselves. We only had one preseason test, and so we're going to do a quick couple races around Australia right now. We're going to do a 5-lap shootout, basically. Waiting on, I believe, Max Mulder to join. Looks like he's doing that as we speak. And this gives us an opportunity to talk about some of the drivers a little bit more in depth, as opposed to last week during the season opener. So it looks like we're going to go ahead and do a 5-lap shootout here at Albert Park in Australia. We've got Sandro Dulius, followed by Christian Dorman, Logan Arand, Ivan Brito, Vincenzo Torri, and Max Mulder. A lot of good quality drivers there for this test. So this should be interesting. I'm going to do a little bit of a comparison to see how the things work out between crossplay being enabled versus disabled. Hopefully we can, because if anybody watched last week's race, from the get-go we had technical difficulties just trying to get everybody into the lobby and getting lobby invites out. I myself had issues trying to join the lobby in certain ways, so hopefully, and it was one of the first things that Sandro noticed, is that once crossplay was disabled, it was a lot easier to get the invites out to the drivers and myself to get things going. So Albert Park, Australia, here in Melbourne. That is exactly where round 2 is going to take place next week. So 5-lap shootout. And for those of you who want to get caught up on last week's race, you can go over to the SRL official YouTube channel, check that out. I also have a stream on my channel as well. So we'll wait for the 5 red lights. Small grid for this test session, but lights out, and away they go. Oh, and there's no start there by Ivan Brito, so immediately we've already got an issue. And it looks like Brito's probably not even at the, not even driving the car. So we've Logan Arand followed by Max Mulder. This is exactly where we picked up last week. And a 3-second time penalty already for Vincenzo Torri for picking up a position. Oh, and Max Mulder's got a crash, and he is out of this race. Oh, big wiggle and into the wall. That moves Sandro Dulius into the 2nd position. And he's running the new special edition livery from Monza last week in F1 Real Life. So we lost Max Mulder from the get-go. We've got Sandro Dulius closing in on Logan Arand here on lap 1. Vincenzo Torri, who's got a grid penalty for gaining a spot while cutting a corner. We've got Christian Dorman running in the 4th position, and Ivan Brito running in 5th. Max Mulder crashed coming out of turn 3. Which I guess that would be the turn 3, 4, or 5 complex. Oh, and a big wiggle by Sandro there, and he's going to lose a huge chunk of time. just in that one corner, and that is going to allow Logan Aron to skip away to the tune of 3 seconds. And Sandro now looks like he's a little bit off the pace, and he is going to let Vincenzo go by. And I think this is Sandro. Now Sandro's possibly trying to see. So part of the lag issue that Sandro had last week in the race was with other cars around him. So this may be him setting himself up to see what it's like to be behind a close following car. Oh, and it looks like we've got, Christian Dorman's going around. It's the same spot that Max Mulder crashed. So now Mulder and Dorman are both out. Logan seems to be having little issues. And we've got this 2-car battle here between the Ferraris. And I believe this is Sandro trying to see what it's like lag-wise being that close to another car to see if he's running into any type of lag issues. And it looks like so far so good. So Vincenzo Torri driving in the Ferrari. Now he is a reserve driver. He will not be driving in the Ferrari this season. In fact, is he a reserve or is he Alfa Romeo? No, he is a reserve driver this year. Oh, and around goes Vincenzo, and it looks like that might have been due to contact with Sandro Dulius, and here comes Ivan Brito. So Sandro's going to let Ivan go by. And it looks like these two are slowing down. I'm going to let Vincenzo catch up. And turn this into a 3-car battle. Again, we're testing the lag issues within the lobby. Logan Aron does not seem to be having any issues, as he's got a 22-second lead out in front. And around goes Vincenzo. And that's the same spot Max Mulder and Christian Dorman had issues. Excuse me. So we'll go back to this now. This is Ivan Brito and Sandro Dulius. Sandro running a little wide there. But Ivan Brito back full-time in SRL. And it looks like Vincenzo has left the session. Ooh, and a big spin there, and that's Sandro Dulius. He's crashed into the front straightaway, and that didn't look like it was on purpose. Gonna do a little bit of a donut to get the car straightened out. And Ivan Brito is slowing down, and Logan Aron is just smooth sailing at this point. So Vincenzo's car is going to pick up a position. And Sandro has a flat right front. And we'll swap out the 4 tires, get a new wing. Meanwhile, Logan Aron out in front to the tune of 37 seconds over Ivan Brito. And as I was saying, good to have Ivan Brito back full-time this year. He had to take a little bit of a sabbatical last year. But this will be his 4th full-time season in SRL. He's got 53 Grand Prix to his credit with a total of 121 points to his credit as well. And he'll be teamed up with Senna Hayware, who Senna had an abysmal race at round 1. Finished well in the back. He's got 7 Grand Prix to his credit. This will be his 2nd season in SRL, and he's only got 2 points to his credit, so only 1 points paying finish last season. But a great run last week by Senna where he finished 4th, one of his best races in SRL. He ran the hards extremely long to come home with that. Christian Dorman, who's Bangle 300, who currently is DNF'd in this particular race, also had a great run last week. And we're going to pick up Logan Aron, your round 1 winner and season 7 runner-up. in the point standings to the championship that was ultimately won by Jensen Randall. Jensen Randall has since moved on from SRL, and it looks like Burrito is going to retire from the session. Looks like he's had an issue, so much for second place for him. I'm wondering if that's in the same section where he was, where everybody else has had an issue. So Logan Run runs the fastest lap at a 1:19.194 in race conditions. Vincenzo's car will come home second, even though he technically retired from the session. And then Sandro Duilius will pick up third, who had that crash on the front straightaway and decided to go into the pits the wrong way. And he has a penalty for that. But again, this is just some in-season testing the lobby connections between crossplay being enabled and disabled. And I think it's safe to say that Sandro had a better outcome. It didn't look like we picked up any lag on our end. Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat this morning. And Sandro will come across the line to finish this 5-lap shootout out. So Logan Aron, the winner for this round. And it's good to see Logan back in the Haas. As I said, last season's runner-up, season 7. And somehow Vincenzo gets driver of the day, even though he was not part of the session. So Logan wins the test session here at Australia, which again is where the official round 2 will take place next week, I believe. And it looks like Sandro has left the session. And we may be done with this for now, or he may be starting a new lobby. See if we can get some information on that. Actually, he may be starting another lobby with crossplay enabled. I think the idea there is to compare crossplay being enabled versus being disabled. Now, we just did one with crossplay that was disabled. But again, Logan wins that round. Good for him on that. Logan Arond, the Pennsylvanian, one of the few Americans in the league, resides in Pennsylvania. He's got multiple F1 Online championships to his credit from IRS, which was the International Racing Series from a few years ago. He's got one from the International Racing League. A bit of a tumultuous season there, but nonetheless, won that championship. but this will be his second full-time season. He's got 27, coming into the season, he had 27 Grand Prix to his credit, scored a total of 441 points, already had 6 wins coming into the season, obviously picked up a 7th career SRL win last week, 22 podiums, 13 poles, and 4 fastest laps. He'll be teamed up with Reese March, who we didn't get to see last week. Reese March, longtime Haas driver. This will be his 5th full-time season. Reese, however, does some actual semi-pro kart racing over in Europe, so we don't know how much we'll see of him this year. So it looks like I have an invite received. We'll go to the player hub. And we're going to try and select this and accept. And it is allowing me to join the session. Very interesting. Would not allow me to do this last week. Now this one does say crossplay enabled in this lobby. Again, we will be doing this at Australia. But as I was saying with Reese March, he's going to be teamed up with Logan Aron this year. Reese March, 5th full season, 49 races to his credit, 175 points, only 1 career podium. He'll be looking to try and add on to that. But if you take a look at guys like Max Mulder, Mulder has vastly improved his driving technique over the last few seasons. He's actually got an SRL GT3 championship, which is with the sports cars. We run that on Project Cars too. But this will be Max's 3rd full-time season. He's only got 4 podiums to his credit. That was coming into the season, obviously added on to that total. But 38 races. He's going to be teamed up with a rookie this year, Fran Sanchez, who I don't have a whole lot of information on, did not participate in round 1. But let's talk about Team Red Bull real quick. None of the Red Bull drivers are here, but this is part of the reason why we're doing this, is the Red Bull team. So Red Bull is captained by Nick Van Gelder, who is your Season 4 champion. This will be his 7th full-time season. He's got 93 races to his credit, 9 wins and 29 podiums with 11 pole positions. He's going to be teamed up once again with Jo Marusic. Now, Jor is going to be, this is his 6th full-time season, potentially. Jor did buy the game this time on PC versus PlayStation, and Jor did not participate in last week's race, but nonetheless, because he's on PC and Sandra feels like we're having issues with crossplay enabled, Jor may not be able to participate, which is going to be a shame because 6 full seasons in SRL, 69 races to his credit. Unfortunately, a podium and a win has eluded him this whole time, but he's been a solid teammate for Nick Van Gelder this whole time. And again, Gelder, Season 4 champion. Moving down, we can talk about Team Ferrari. Sandro Dulius, as we know, he's the league president. And not just the league president, but he's also in his 8th full season with Ferrari. He'll be teamed up once again with Dion Stahl, who's not participating in today's test session, unfortunately, but that is the longest tenured team in SRL history. Realistically, I mean, coming into this season, 138 Grand Prix for Sandro Dulius. He's the all-time points leader with 1,568 points coming into the season. 10 wins, 50 podiums, and 4 pole positions. No championship, though, for Sandro Dulius. So he's got the most points in league history, but unfortunately he does not have a win. And here we go. As we were talking about him, Jo Marusic has joined the lobby. So this is crossplay enabled. We're going to do the test with actual crossplay. And as you can see, Jo Marusic is going to be on the computer. So we're going to do a bit of a test session to see how this goes. Crossplay versus crossplay enabled versus crossplay disabled. And I'm not sure, we may get Theo Stells to join. I'm not 100% on that. He's also on the PC. Theo is going to be a reserve driver this year. And it looks like that might be him right there, Zunski. Theo Stells, who was a part of, well, he's always been a part of SRL, but he was only a driver back, I think, in like Season 1 for a couple of races. fact, I might have some information on Theo. If I look hard enough. Theo Stells, this will be his official rookie season. If he participates, he is listed as a reserve driver. He has one SRL race to his credit, where he did walk away with 4 points. So good on him. One race, scored some points, where he finished 8th. So now that we've got a little few more drivers, we've got the crossplay enabled, we've got 2 guys on computers. We're going to see how this goes as far as any type of lag issues, crossplay enabled versus disabled. So this will be my first time seeing Theo Stells race. Jo Marusic, we just got done talking about him. It's a lot of races to his credit, but unfortunately the official podium and the official win has eluded him all these years. So we're going to do another 5-lap shootout here at Australia. Again, round 2, the official round 2 for the season, will take place in the same track, Albert Park, Melbourne, Australia. So we've got Max Mulder, Ivan Brito, Logan Aron, Sandro Lewis, Theo Stells, Christian Dorman, and Jo Marusic in this 5-lap shootout. Wait for the timer to run down. Not doing any qualifying. We're just gonna do random grid. 5 red lights. Lights out. Time to run what you brung. Looks like Max Mulder's away in a puff of smoke, followed by Christian Dorman. And they fan out, heading down into turn 1. Logan around the outside of turn 1, and he's gonna go 3 wide. Tries to pick up 2 positions. Mulder back on the inside as they head down turn 3. Theo Stells is going to make it 3 wide again. And I can't believe they went 3 wide through that corner, and it worked. And Theo Stells out in front, followed by Max Mulder, Logan Aron, Christian Dorman, Sandro Lewis, Ivan Brito, and Jo Marusic. And it looks like yours had an issue at the start. He is now 12 seconds behind, but we've got this battle going on here. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And look at Mulder all over the back of the Alpine of Theo Stells, down into this hairpin. And Ivan Brito's got a 2-second time penalty for corner cutting, apparently multiple warnings. And Mulder goes to the inside of Stells, picks up that position, but crossover move by Theo. Tries to get it back, can't make it work. Mulder drops the wheels in the grass just a little bit. Oh, and around goes Christian Dorman, and that is a hard hit into the wall. And is damage off? Apparently damage might be off. That was definitely... Oh no, and your Marusic has gone around as well. He is well in the back. Meanwhile, battle up front continues. Looks like Sandro Lewis just got around Logan Aron for the 3rd position. Max Mulder is pulling out away from Theo Stells for the top spot. And this will give us a chance to bring up a track map. And it looks like your Marusic is off at turn 3. And now Yura is off at turns 1 and 2, or is that Christian Dorman? That's probably Dorman. Sorry, pulling up the track map for the first time, playing with the spectator menu. So essentially a 4-car battle here in this 5-lap shootout. Max Mulder out in front, Theo Stells running 2nd, Sandro Lewis is 3rd, Logan Aron is 4th, Ivan Brito bringing up the rear, but he's a 1.2 seconds off. Theo Stells just ran the fastest lap of the race at a 1:20.179 as they head down into the turn 1-2 complex. Sandro looks like he got a good run coming out of that corner. DRS should be enabled. And we've got a caution in sector 3. That's probably Christian Dorman again. And here we go. Looks like Max Mulder's gotten by Theo. Theo with a big wiggle coming out of that corner. And with that wiggle, Sandro's able to close the gap as they head down this straightaway and around the outside. Sandro somehow makes that work a little bit. Might have cut that corner just a tad bit, but here comes Logan Aron now. And Theo's going to lose 2 spots. The DRS is open on the second, third, and fourth place cars. Max Mulder still out in front to the tune of half a second. Sandro Dulius is now up into the second spot. Mulder runs wide. Here comes Stells on the inside of Logan Aron, and they make contact. Logan's going to try and push him wide. Theo gets a run coming out of the corner. Down the front straightaway. DRS enabled for second, third, and fourth. Sandro not close enough to make a move on Max Mulder. And now it's a 3-car battle. Here comes Logan Aron to the inside of Sandro Dulius. He's going to try and get the 2-for-1 deal heading into turn 3, but he can't make it stick. Sandro hangs tough on the outside. And around goes Mulder. Too much curbing. Logan hits him. Sandro Dulius out in front now, followed by Theo Stells. Logan able to get by with minimal contact, running into third position now. And Theo's not giving up on this battle for first, but this is good racing. Even though this is only supposed to be a test session, here comes Theo Stells. Let's hop on board with Theo as he chases down Sandro Dulius. Oh, and Sandro loses it! The first to third, Sandro got the rejection there, lost 2 spots in one corner. Theo now with Logan Aron all over the back of him as he heads out on the front straightaway, and Logan and him make contact, and Logan goes around, and Sandro goes around. What happened there? Big moment for Theo, caused himself to go into the wall. Apparently damage is turned off for this test session, otherwise that would have ended in a DNF for somebody. So Max Mulder finds himself back up into the third spot. We'll pick up Ivan Brito, who's now found himself in fourth and within DRS range of Logan Aron for the third position. The final lap of this 5-lap shootout, and this has been quite an interesting 5-lap shootout. Jurma Rusic and Christian Dorman, I'm not sure what they're doing. Ivan Brito trying to close that gap, though. Now it's Sandro. Side by side as they head into the chicane. Oh, what a big hit there! Don't think Sandro meant to do that. Going to the inside. Oh, what a big hit there. Don't know that Sandro meant to do that, or normally that would be a penalty in real SRL, so Sandro definitely punted Ivan there. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but it looks like Theo Stells is going to walk away with the win in round 2 of our 5-lap shootout test sessions. So definitely interesting. Theo getting driver of the day this round. And here comes Theo to the top step of the podium. As they celebrate their wins. So, interesting 5-lap shootout with the crossplay enabled, allowing Jure Marusic and Theo Stells to play. And you can see the disparity between the top and bottom. Both on PC, Theo with the win, Jure Marusic 2 minutes behind with a DNF. But Theo wins this race, followed by Logan Arand, Max Mulder, Sandro Dulius, Ivan Brito, Christian Dorman, and Jure Marusic bringing up the rear. So we've now done 2 lobbies, one crossplay disabled, second one crossplay enabled. Not sure if we're going to be doing any more. And it does appear that we're going to be doing one more race. So we'll see if we lose anybody or gain anybody. We've got Ivan Brito, so it looks like we've lost Jure Marusic. So we have Ivan Brito, Sandro Dulius, Theo Stells, and Christian Dorman. We've lost Max Mulder and Jure Marusic. Actually, Sandra's probably going to make a whole new lobby. So we'll take a look here and see what this lobby entails. And we'll wait for the invite for the next one. But until then, we can continue talking about this season's drivers. We talked about Team Mercedes with Max Mulder and Fran Sanchez. We talked a lot about Red Bull with Nick Van Gelder and Jure Marusic. We talked about Team Ferrari. We can also talk about Team McLaren. Should be an interesting setup. And it looks like I've received an invite from Sandro. We'll see if we can get in here. Has invited you. I accept, and it will actually allow me to join. Nope, this session no longer exists. This was part of the issue we were running into last week. So this is part of the issue we ran into last week, where the invites would come through the EA Sports Player Hub, and I wouldn't be able to join through that. I would have to join through a PlayStation invite if somebody could get me one of those. See if we can get him to send me another one via the social network. Okay, invite received. We'll go in here. We'll go in here. Has invited you to play. I accept. So EA Sports still needs to polish the game a little bit. Sandro going to try again. And this is brilliant. Yet the invite remains. And now it's gone. So we'll see if we can trying to see if I can request a invite. And it does not allow you to request an invite. So this is just silly. So this is the issues that we were experiencing last week, and this is the things that we're trying to iron out. And he says to restart the game. What a terrible game. Well, I guess that'll do it for me. There's no sense of me restarting the game.